Finally, folks, it's here, the long-awaited Concho wedding. Within the bride's tower, Mimith's rosy veil still had a few thorns that unfortunately snagged a seam that Leah had to stitch up.
No worries, Mimith. Small little mends like this I can handle. But hey, since it's just us three ladies in the room, what qualities would it take for you to say, I do to a special someone for real?
I'd need either someone that could keep up with my adventuring and monster hunting, or at least someone who is tolerant with me being gone for long periods of time. Hopefully, they'd like to write me letters until I'm back home and they're happy to see me. But otherwise, just someone who is nice and comforting.
Nice and comforting should be a bare minimum thing that goes without saying, hon. But the rest of that makes sense. Two polar opposite types gives you plenty of options at least. And how about you, Lux?
Blackmail.
Blackmail? You have a thing for being a hostage or something like that?
No, I mean that I currently have no desire to settle and be locked down to any one person. The only way I'd do that right now is if someone blackmailed me into it.
Oh, wow. Not sure why my mind went there, haha. But I totally get you. You do have a long life ahead of you after all, so you should enjoy the present and have as many experiences as you want.
How about you, Leah? Are you and Hooreya married or planning on it?
No point since we won't be eligible for documents for a hot while when we move. But the sentiment is there. I'm a person that tends to get stuck in my head. So I need someone that is spontaneous and keeps me on my toes. Hooreya has helped pull me out of my shell long before we became an item, and she'd never leave me hanging. So I'm pretty confident I found my special someone even if we can't say, I do, just yet.
And during this interaction, Mimith noticed her new friend from the network made an appearance in the mirror. Little Wone jumping up and down trying to get her attention while holding a gift. Lux decided to kick the mirror, shattering it into pieces, much to poor Leah's immense confusion. But that wasn't the only chaos afoot in the chapel, as we now move onto the Grooms tower. Thotham was running late to help Osman get ready, and dashed up the stairs in his smoked, slightly crisped attire. Him whipping into the door only to find an exasperated Orixian standing over an unconscious Osman. The rogue's gaze now eyeing Thotham up and down.
Why are you so damn late, and why do you look like you just tackled a fire pit?
Tarth and I's carriage was ambushed by the sand stealthers. They tackled us with a bomb. But thankfully we're in one piece to tell the tale and make the wedding still.
Oh, well then, I guess my adventuring party isn't the only one cursed by violent chaos. Never a dull day in Gikarin, eh?
Nope. Though I often pray and wish it was... But okay, your turn now, Orixian. Why is Osman undressed and unconscious on the floor in a pile of water?
Yeah, I've been trying all kinds of methods to wake him up. I didn't detect any poisons or other magical hindrances, but the few words I've squeezed out of the kid is he hasn't slept well in weeks and not at all in days. So it sounds like acute exhaustion to me.
Cover your ears for a sec.
Thotham went to lift Osman up by the shoulders while shaking him, as he took a deep breath in and cast Thaumaturgy.
Hey, it's time to wake up!
Story! My whole body hurts it. Thotham, could you get my suit and shoeseth for me from the closet?
Do you mind doing that, Orixian, while I focus on keeping Osman awake and holding him up here?
Welp, that's one way for the player to unintentionally cheese through a skill check. Thus, our guest rogue opened the closet door and immediately narrowed his eyes investigatively. The closet tension bar for hanging clothing was slightly diagonal in alignment as Osman's heavy sopping wetsuit nudged one side downward. The source of the water, clearly being a large water canister on the shelf above the rod that was leaking. That leak was from a nail within the shelf that punctured through the wood and into the container. But Orixian wasn't satisfied yet, as he chucked the water canister down and snapped the shelf off the back wall to inspect the nails from both sides.
Aha! The nail that was piercing the receptacle is slightly longer and much newer than all the rest of the nails in this old-ass shelf. Looks like sabotage to me. Someone wants to humiliate this poor kid.
Yeah, we figured that was a possibility. We're gonna need a serious and unhealthy amount of stimulants to even get Osman ready and down that aisle.
I don't know, Thotham. The kid in this condition would be extra vulnerable to more sabotage, right? Let me float this crazy idea by you. My roguish specialties are in the art of disguise. I can take his place in the wedding, let him get a short rest here, and then we switch places back for the second half of the day. Better me than the kid get tormented, you know?
Seems really risky. You'd have to convince me that you can believably pull off Osman.
I most definitely can. but I'll need your help and advice in order to do so.
After helping Osman get comfy for a long nap, Thotham expertly coached Orixian's performance of the tiefling lad, the two of them finally starting to get along without needing a babysitter. And after some hilarious discussion at our D&D table about the limits of the Destroy Water spell used on Osman's suit within a handy-dandy container. We now move downstairs where Gribble stood alone by the photo board, as suddenly his little dragon homunculus started to retch and cough until a gear popped out of his mechanical throat and ting-tanged onto the floor ominously.
Renrev, Tawiddi just told me she saw you get tied in a thread, but she doesn't know where the other end went other than through a brick wall.
Wait, hold on. Tawiddi can see fate threads that clearly. Even in my humanoid form, it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, she mentions it to me often because it used to freak her out. I think it's her true sight thingy-majig.
That's extraordinary, even for someone with true sight. Huh, that could be useful.
Renrev, are you okay? What the heck just happened to you?
Sorry to worry you, young master. That was just a gear ball. It seems the asshole of Order God Tyr just tied a harmful fate thread to this little body. How nice of him to announce he's spectating us today.
How dare he! I'm gonna light his stupid shrine up on fire right friggin' now!
No, young master, stop. That will compromise your mission today, which is meant to be helping Deaa worshippers. You'd just be playing right into Tyr's hand. Don't let him get to you. He's a god. You will lose that fight.
Gribble grit his teeth bitterly and growled at the situation as Tawiddi tried to place her hyena paw on him as a sign of care. Then, our Harengon finally appeared, sweaty and out of breath.
Sorry I'm late. We were ambushed by the Sand Reapers or whatever the fuck their name was. Then I had to clean up since I was more smoked up than usual.
Momo squinted up at Tarth, daydreaming of her upcoming divine pitch to the Harengon, as Tarth and Gribble noticed Grandmother Paloma, Grandfather Leo, and 4 others clustered like vultures in the guest line. Them arguing in intense whispers, but our gents failed to perceive what they were saying. Aside from Gribble rolling a nat 20 while juggling rainbow fire, the photo board challenge went fucking terrible. Even Gribble was intellectually out-alchemied by the snot-nosed Mateo, Osman's wicked cousin who cruelly split his tongue with a buzzsaw in high school. Elsewhere, Lux received a letter and wine from her hot date. In the language of thieves, he informed her he would be taking Osman's place in the wedding, information she decided to keep to herself. But with that, the show was on! The 6 tricks began their adventurous Aisle Walk, performing with enough vigor to amuse the crowd with only a couple slip-ups. Then, during Tarth's performance, suddenly everything froze. Everyone turned translucent. Only Tarth remained seemingly animated as his hands phased right through his friends. Strange hums filled the air, with distorted lights bending in obscure otherworldly ways as he floated around weightlessly. Our poor Harengon has been through so much he fast started to spiral. Why was he being fucked with again? What now? In this moment of weakness, in a chapel dedicated to Sylvania, Tyr, and Deaa, he called out for divine help.
Goddess Deaa, I have no fucking clue what's going on here, but I sure could use a lucky break right now, please.
Unbeknownst to Tarth, with the snap of a finger, he was frozen in time again, along with everyone else. Momo, in her avatar form, sat high in the balcony of the bridal tower, while homunculus Renrev perched on the balcony of the Grooms tower, both of them looking down at the Harengon.
He really is an unpredictable little bunny. Looks like you and I both lost the first bet, and yet I've still symbolically won somehow. Lucky me, I guess.
After everything Sylvania has done for him, looks like this thick-skulled Harengon needs a firm reminder.
Momo conjured a glowing orb in her hands. It reflected Tarth's memories as the young tiefling girl tossed the ball at the time-stopped Harengon's head, then snapped her fingers to release him from the stasis of time control. The scenery of the chapel fades away now to pitch black, but a brilliant light suddenly cuts through. All 3 of them experience Tarth's past through his perspective as Sylvania's summoner Lycloclius rescues the Harengon from the abyss. The centaur lunges to battle Zugdmoy as Tarth runs away.
We recently confirmed that Tarth was held captive not in the Feywild initially, but the Abyss. Poor summoner Lycloclius stood no chance against Zuggtmoy without magic or his godly boons.
He's still alive, though. Otherwise, his summoner gate would have reopened.
Sorry, but if the miasma didn't kill him, then he's only alive by Zuggtmoy's intervention somehow. Thus, he might be better off dead both for his and Sylvania's sake.
Well, if that's the case, then the Harengon should be even more grateful to Sylvania then.
Why? Sylvania didn't do anything. That was all Lycloclius independently choosing to save our furry friend here. She had no knowledge of this until she watched her knight piece go into limbo from the game board and panicked.
It's still her summoner, and Sylvania did other things for the Harengon. Look!
The scene shifts again, to Tarth's memory of being rehabilitated by the Centaur clan. The Myconid colony visiting the strange spore-shedding rabbit with warm intrigue. Happy memories, probably the most stable time of Tarth's life thus far. But Momo defogged another layer to show Renrev, using her magic to highlight threads cutting through each memory.
See all these fate threads? Some of those are Sylvania's, while others I have to assume are Heckma's. Sylvania was working overtime to keep him safe.
I believe you she was working overtime putting them down. But let's be real here, Momo. That was to keep all the other centaurs that worship her safe. And by that I mean her being a weakened goddess. This was all to keep herself safe.
Are you seriously going to imply Beatrice wouldn't do the same?
Of course she would. The difference, Momo, is we admit it. I'm trying to keep you honest and your perspective realistic. None of this was done out of charity for Tarth.
Momo felt indignant, unsure why that fact mattered. She then shifting the scene again to another memory of Tarth's. The unicorn drinking from the spring that Tarth first awkwardly met Princess Vernestra in while attempting to bathe. Renrev smiled widely, as Momo rolled her eyes.
Pervert! You're smiling because there's naked people!
You think I'm that easy, Momo? How quickly your opinion of me has fallen.
Then what are you smiling so widely about?
The unicorn. They're my favorite. I hope I get to see a wild one myself while I'm down here. Tarth is very lucky.
Yeah, but in this case, he's lucky because Sylvania tied a fate thread between him and Vernestra.
Ah, but Sylvania purchased one of Dea's lucky threads to tie them. Anywho, Momo, it's showtime. Go prove your point. You put down my young master for not converting Tarth, and you confidently asserted you would teach us a lesson. The floor is yours, my dear.
Momo scoffed at Renrev as she flipped the scene to one final memory. Tarth was laying down in tall, swaying grasses, taking reprieve in a rare safe zone within the infamous Lost Woods of the Feywild. Beside him was V. Together they looked up at the stars as the moonlight flickered off her amulet of Sylvania. She pointed out a funny-looking constellation, which eventually cascaded into a discussion about signs from gods.
I'm just curious, no judgment here, Tarth. But after being saved by Sylvania's summoner, then raised in a Sylvanian druidic centaur clan, and in the Lost Woods of all places you've met me, a Sylvanian sorceress, yet you're not a primary Sylvanian.
It's true, I've met more wonderful Sylvanians than any other god's followers. I don't know. I guess I don't see the need to declare and pick a favorite. Like I've always considered myself to have some crazy fool's luck and chalk that up to my still being alive. From that angle, Deaa could be seen as the most helpful to me. And I could say that about several gods in different ways. I don't feel like I've had a real smoking gun sign from any one god, you know?
The memory suddenly froze and faded away from Tarth's fingertips as he reached back for it. Sad and missing V. Another voice now calling to Tarth from the Trifecta Chapel altar.
Okay, how about now?
In an instant, a massive tree grew over the altar. Its branches elegantly stretched to hover over the pews as beautiful blossoms dusted the chapel in soft pink petals, along with a warm, ethereal glow emanating from the wood. Sitting within the tree, a small, mysterious figure wrapped in gorgeous green silks, leaves, and ornate flowers. A large headdress with the face of a deer entirely masked the girl. Its antlers were wide and prominent, bejeweled in precious minerals that refracted rainbows all over the chapel brilliantly like a kaleidoscope.
Whoa. Who are you?
Greetings, my child. I am an emissary of Sylvania, and today I have come to help guide you back toward the light of our great Mother Nature. It seems her calls to you have not yet been strong enough to cut through the darkness, that which has started to parasitically infect your roots. You poor creature.
Oh, so it was Sylvania helping to guide and save me all those times back then?
Yes, indeed it was.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Dang, I'm sorry. I most definitely did not wish to snub Sylvania of any credit for helping me. If anything, I just didn't consider myself special enough to receive such esteemed attention. I am very flattered. Please tell the goddess thank you for me.
You can do so yourself, for she has sent me to see if you can open your heart and receive the Harvest Enchanter's offer before it's too late.
Well, I'm here in all ears. I would never think to not hear the goddess Sylvania out. I have immense respect for her. But what do you mean by too late?
Tarth and you, the goddess and myself can see the goodness inside you, but you are unwittingly being lulled into a dark path. There is a point in the road you're walking that once it is crossed, there is no going back, and I fear you are approaching it faster than you yet realize.
Shit. Well, thank you for the heads up. So, how do I go about fixing that?
By committing yourself to the path of Sylvania. At the end of the day, if it all came down to needing to choose one god, if you were allowed only one holy name to call, trust and build a closer bond of faith with, the Harvest Enchanter by now should have demonstrated your best interest at heart, and most committed to seeing you thrive under her holy wing.
She doesn't have his best interest at heart. She has her own.
Well, her best interest is Tarth's best interest. If he becomes a primary worshipper of Sylvania and ditches Zugmoy, she'll do all she can to help him thrive and grow.
She won't even do that for her own champion. What makes you so sure she'll do that for the fungal-infected rabbit that ignored her for decades?
That's different. Tawiddi will get there in time. She just has to prove herself first, and I'll make sure it happens.
Watching you move the goalpost isn't very amusing to me, but you do you, Momo.
Momo took a deep breath, annoyed, as she snapped her fingers to reanimate Tarth. But upon reactivating the Harengon, his demeanor shifted to clearly uncomfortable.
I really do appreciate what Sylvania has done for me, but I don't know. I'm kind of a late bloomer. I'm still trying to catch up with the world around me. Right now, I can only promise that I will give Sylvania special consideration for all she's done thus far. But I've spent most of my life on the run, and technically I still am on the run. I just need more time.
Indeed you are. You have been on the run away from the light, and straight to the darkness that the Queen of the Mycorgi is spreading. She who wishes to slay my goddess and take her place on the Pantheon.
Wait, what? That sounds out of left field. Do you have any actual proof of that?
The Mycorgi Queen calls herself the Greater Mother, which is a rebuking of Sylvania's title, Our Great Mother. And she holds captive Sylvania's summoner Lycloclius, the one who saved you from her.
The title thing could just be a coincidence, and I am going to save Lycloclius along with V. As for Zugmoy, she was just trying to protect me. So maybe there's a huge misunderstanding going on.
Was the slaughter of Zambiu also just a misunderstanding, Tarthelamu?
That event was horrible, but I'm waiting to reserve judgment until I understand the situation better.
Can you not declare, if at the very least, whether you will walk away from the Mycorgi Queen rebuking her, and open your eyes to the fact that all along, Sylvania and her followers were there for you, helping you through the very harm that was caused by Zugtamoy?
If having my respect and goodwill isn't good enough, then I don't know what to say other than I'm sorry. If there's something going on with the Mycorgi Queen against Sylvania, then I might be the only person with a chance at convincing Zugmoy to reconsider. I can't rebuke her until I know there's no explanation or redemption path for her.
A fire began to flicker, and rage through the aura of Momo as her voice starkly lowered. No longer speaking as herself, but Sylvania, speaking through her, taking control of the child.
Fine then! You will no longer receive the aid of the goddess. Do not bother trying to save her followers, for you will only further their demise. The only mercy you shall receive is when you cross the point of no return, Sylvanians will come to strike you down. From now till then, do not bother praying to our Great Mother, for she will not hear you.
Consider yourself warned.
What? How could you say something so horrible like that?
Time snapped back for the entire chapel. Sylvania's avatar vanished out of Tarth's sight, leaving behind the beautiful cherry blossom tree that to the rest of the audience's awe seemed to appear just as Tarth stepped up to the altar. However, their appreciation curdled into horror as the tree rapidly wilted, sickly brown petals now littering the aisle, as everyone now stared at the Harangan disturbed and disgusted. Poor nerve-wracked Tarth fled to hide in the bathroom. And he wasn't the only one running as Momo bolted up Bridal Tower, sneaking past the legs of Mimith and the commander. Their adventurous Aisle Walk now delayed for the chapel's staff to clean up the mess of rotten petals.
Poor kid, she seemed terrified. But my goodness, Sylvania, what the hell were you thinking? That probably just pushed Tarth closer to Zuggotmoy and Heckma. Or was that her petty goal after he invoked Milady Deaa's name?
But now with the aisle cleared, the fake bride Mimith and her commander made their daring entrance down the adventurous wedding aisle. Renrev flew to the Dragonborn's shoulders, granting a dose of luck to the bride as Mimith dashed down the carpet. Besting nearly every challenge the commander threw her way, with a swift katana strike, she cleanly sliced a flower basin in half, the soil falling perfectly to either side without touching her. She emerged pristine and untouched, and the performance concluded with the commander ripping the butt of his pants, cueing laughter from the audience.
If only I was wearing my damn uniform, it wouldn't have done that.
And as Mimith embraced her role as Minami and came to face her fake groom-to-be, Leah gave her efficient speech, and then it was time for vows.
Osman, I vow to grow with you and never apart, to love you deeply and honestly as your teammate, to laugh with you at the best of times and carry you through the worst. Your well-being will always be just as important as my own. No matter what challenges we may face, and no matter how much time passes or life changes, I promise to fight for our joy. I choose you. Forever, you are my most beloved.
Minami, you are a samurai with a heart as pure and sweet as a white camellia flower. You are the soothing blizzard to my raging fire. We are the potter and the painter, with a love so strong, nothing could taint her. I love you more than, well, more words than I can pronounce, though with this lisp of mine. But I vow to never let anything come between us, because you, Minami, are my greatest adventure.
Do you, Osman, take Minami to be your eternal wife? From now till oblivion and beyond?
I do.
Do you, Minami, take Osman to be your eternal husband? From now till oblivion and beyond?
I do.
Are there any objections?
Lux had pre-planned with Gribble for his character to pull her jealous persona back from trying to object at the wedding, but it would seem Orixian had a different plan in mind as he spoke up defiantly.
Does your lack of objection mean you finally accept your plots as just Minami's friend? Because if not, I'd much rather you get it out of your system now, Mira, for I challenge you to a duel.
He shouted as he drew a hand axe up and pointed it toward the Eladrin, the audience gasping as Lux donned her coldest villainous smirk. She understanding now that her date felt robbed of his Aisle Walk with her and wanted to roguishly steal the show alongside her.
Well, Osman, I was going to be patient, awaiting for a future divorce. But if you want to cut to the chase, then I will cut you, for I will never give up on Minami.
Orixian removed Osman's half-cape, him now stomping down the wedding aisle and conjuring a very long metal chain from a pouch, attaching either end of it to each of Osman's hand axes. Initially, he yielded the first move to Lux, but...
You need the advantage more than I do, Osman.
Fine. Looks like I get to be the opportunist today.
He twirled the axe in the air and then lashed it outward. Not in a strike, but a trap, as it coiled around Lux's ankles mid-jump. Now a sharp tug of the chain flung her towards himself, dragging her down to meet his feet. She restrained, and now prone.
Sorry, darling, but I know all too well that your legs are your second most lethal weapons.
Oh? And what are my first?
Those cursed lips of yours. They can speak spells with not a drop of mana in sight.
Lux used her bound ankles to jerk Orixian off balance, sliding underneath him to swipe the back end of her blade behind his legs. He fell to his knee, but then he quickly swung a leg over her before she could fully escape. His knees caging her hips, Orixian raised his axe high, though taking a moment to savor the sight of her pinned below him, before he cracked the axe into the floor above her head.
Damn those beautiful eyes of yours for fucking distracting me.
And they can't look away from you.
Orixian averted his gaze, trying to mask a sudden pinch of sadness distracting him.
Ha! If only that were the truth.
Capitalizing on his emotionally distracted struggle to free the axe from the floor, Lux took a fast swing of her back-end dagger at him. He narrowly managed to evade it, as he secretly loosened the chains for her escape as they both theatrically tumbled away. Now back on their feet.
I will make you give in, Mira.
Orixian now threw half the long chain over the ceiling support beam to wrap around. The hand axe snapped into the wood above. He hooked the other chained axe into his heel to swing across the aisle and slash at Lux with his dagger, but she ducked. And now his back was exposed to her.
I will make you work for it, Osman!
Lux leaped to grab onto his back, grappling him from behind as he pretended to struggle and writhe. He didn't bother trying to actually shake her off, though, since he wanted his sultry co-star swinging with him in forced proximity in the first place.
You never show or have enough rest to train Mira.
Orixian easily overpowered her, and with a little finesse, he was able to reverse their positions on the chain, grappling her from behind and locking her tightly into himself, nearly inescapable.
Restraints? For me? Why, you shouldn't have...
For the record, darling, that's not a blade pressed against your back, but thank you for providing me some cozy cover.
He said while tightening his grip on Lux and pressing himself hard against her. Our Eladrin now wickedly sought to capitalize on the weakness of her co-star as she managed to mischievously squeeze her non-wrist-locked hand behind herself and hidden between them. As Orixian's face immediately lowered and flushed warmly into her shoulder, so to hide his flustered expression from the audience. Distraction secured, as Lux now cruelly stomped her foot into his, pressing the axe further into the heel of his shoes as he yelped and tripped off the chain backwards. Thankfully, rogues are basically cats, as he managed to dramatically roll out on the ground, then pathetically laying face flat in a theatrical pose of defeat. And with that, Thotham leaned toward Mimith.
You might want to go grab and defend your fake husband so the wedding doesn't end here.
As Mimith ran from the altar to check on him. She was not yet aware this wasn't actually Osman. Lux jumped down from the chains, proudly standing over her defeated prey like she did with Kitterine Sliverfell at Zombu.
Mira, you will always be my best friend, but regardless of winning, I need you to accept that Osman is the one I love and wish to marry. Please stand down now.
Why, of course. I wouldn't think to deprive you of what you want. I only accepted his request for a duel, so to make loud and clear that I, Mira, am not giving up on you, Minami. I may have someone else to help ease that pain for the meantime, but only as I patiently wait for your future divorce. I will always be there, watching and waiting.
We'll discuss this more later, Mira.
Mimith said as she scooped up Osman's body double into her arms and carried him up the altar as he sprang back to life to finish the job he started. Meanwhile, poor confused Leah scrambled to get the ceremony back on track.
Okay. I guess now you may kiss the bride.
From the audience point of view, it looked as if Osman passionately grabbed Mimith's face and pulled her fiercely into his hidden lips, masked by his right palm that roughly grasped at her with a sultry energy. But from the perspective of those on stage, Orixian had placed his left hand over her mouth, kissing his own knuckles to Mimith's confusion. After their faces departed, he grabbed her shoulders and leaned his lips into her ear.
Word of advice, Mimith. Take it or leave it. First kisses are special. Don't just give it up for the sake of a stupid job. Save it for someone who's just as into you as you are into them. All right?
It was only now Mimith realized this was not Osman. After exchanging wedding rings, most of the audience cheered. Then Hiraya took some photos of everyone. Leah and Commander went outside to help set up for the garden party, while the Fallen's Fellowship and Orixian went up to the Grooms Tower to check on Osman. The tiefling lad thankfully was already awake. Gribble gifted Osman his potion of Scoundrel's Bravado to help him get through the second half of the day believably. While most of the party discussed the potion to the young lad, Orixian leaned to whisper to Lux.
Tawiddi is recharging her wild shape in the bride's tower right now. I'll give you a head start before I make my approach on Gribble, so as not to arouse suspicion.
Hey guys, I'm feeling a bit overstimulated, so I'm gonna go for a lone walk to get some quiet. I'll be back before the intermission ends.
Yeah, you and me both, Lux. Hope you feel better.
Tarth said as everyone concurred. And just as Lux opened the door to leave, Leah had just knocked, them now exchanging places in the room.
Hey, Matot. High Priestess Zainab is requesting your presence in the sanctuary of Tyr, but only if you aren't busy right now. Is that okay?
Thotham passed his check, discerning that this was no small request. Going to a sanctuary of a god within any place of worship is typically reserved for matters and/or persons of high importance.
Oh, of course. I will meet with the High Priestess right away.
And from Gribble's shoulder, Renrev turned his head and narrowed his eyes skeptically at the Goliath.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Young master, forgive me, but I must take my leave and see what Tyr is up to in regards to Thotham.
What? No! Renrev, I don't want you to go!
Worry not, young master, it won't be for long. I'll come back just before Thotham does, and I'll be in this same building the whole time, so it won't be far. All right?
Fine. All right.
Thank you, young master. Please stay safe and out of trouble in the meantime.
Renrev slinked away into the shadows, evading almost everyone's perception check, as Tarth was loudly talking to Gribble, Mimith, and Osman about his new magical spider he found in his backpack. But from the corner of his singular eye, Orixian was watching the homunculus and keeping his ear sharply attuned to Gribble the entire time.
Well, I couldn't understand a word of what Renrev was gear-grinding about. But I did hear Gribble express not wanting Renrev to leave, and yet it left anyway. Homunculi aren't capable of debating their master's orders, period. So whoever is actually controlling that thing has gotten way too fucking cocky. That shit ends today.
Orixian pulled from his pocket a short leather strap with a tiny bell affixed to it. The bell does not audibly ring in this realm. Its chime can only be heard from the in-between, as he gave it a jingle and fixed his eyes on the shadow casted by the slightly ajar door just before it closed. His mind's eye now attuned with his summoned companion. Orixian kept half his face casually hidden as the others continued discussing the spider golem for a bit. And then after a couple minutes resolving that problem, Orixian now happily made his approach to Gribble.
Hey, Gribble. You just so happen to be the only genius alchemist I personally know and trust. Would you mind if I prod you for some scientific advice?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to go for a walk outside? I'm antsy from standing still so long at the ceremony.
You know, I was just going to offer that we go look for lizards. Those are practically half-baked dragons, right? And it's been a hot minute since we had boys' time. Let's go Gribble.
The pair left seeming upbeat with each other, as Tarth turned back to Mimith and Osman to continue talking about the spider discovery. But
Tarth, I'm sorry, but could I ask for a few minutes alone to speak with Osman?
Oh, okay. I'll just, go take a walk with Salzar Bad and my new spider, I guess.
Poor Tarth was having a traumatic day and struggling to hold it together. But everyone was so preoccupied with their own goals, the distressed Harangan was left alone to brood with it. Him not sure when or if he should even bother telling his party mates what happened during his Isle Walk. Thus, with Tarth taking a sulking exit out of the room, Mimith nervously twiddled her fingers and looked down at the floor, anxious as she made her move.
I'm really sorry you were too unwell to do the ceremony, Osman. I was missing you while up there.
Oh, please, Thee, don't feel bad for me. I am actually extremely relieved that it all worked out, and I didn't have to go through that. Ever since the family dinner, it's been filling me with dread. Besides, Rex had to be a better co-star than me anyway.
I disagree that he is a better co-star. I would have rathered it been you up there.
Whoa! Are you and Rex beefing with each other or something?
No, I just find you more comfortable to be around.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I let you down then. But I'll be spruced up for the second act at least once I take Gribble's potion.
It's not your fault, and that makes me happy to hear. I'm glad you're feeling better. I was wondering, Osman, if maybe you'd like to recreate part of the ceremony here and place our rings on each other.
Sorry, Mimith. I guess I'm still kinda slow from being out of it. Did my family want a close-up photo of the exchange or something?
Osman looked down at his hand with a bit of surprise and then a laugh as he realized he didn't have the ring. Orixian does. Meanwhile, Mimith's nervousness crescendoed, realizing she had to be a lot more direct.
Damn, we gotta remember to get your ring back from him. But I thought it would be a nice thing to do, because I realized I have feelings for you, Osman. You're a really nice person, and spending time with you has been a warm experience. I appreciate your strength to hold it together despite your challenges, and I feel happy whenever I'm around you.
Well, I imagine that was hard to say. Thank you, Mimith, for sharing that with me. You also seem like a sweet gal, but I'm sorry. We only met a couple of weeks ago, so I feel like our friendship has only just started, and, I know it might seem like to you that I'm not that much older at 24, but when I was your age, Mimith, that was when I was still telling all these cringy lies you guys are currently helping me cover for. I'm just so different now from who I was then. Thankfully, my family can't tell how old you are since you're a badass dragonborn who is taller and more muscular than I am. But I think you deserve to have your first relationship be with someone that can grow alongside you. Besides, you can do better than an anxious wreck like me who needs to hide and break shit to calm down. But none of this is to say that my friends and I don't appreciate all that you guys have done for us, though. And we'd like to leave the door open to still keep contact with you all over mail, if it's not a burden, that is.
Poor Mimith's heart sunk, but she nonetheless took Osman's words with grace, as realized she still had more to learn about herself and relationships. Not living a life with peers her own age surrounding her has unfortunately left her to be a bit of a late bloomer. But hey, late blooms can be big booms.
Of course, Osman. We'd all appreciate that. I'm sorry I bothered you with this.
Hey, there was no bother. Again, you guys, they're helping us. But, are you going to be okay doing this second half of the day with me? I don't want to give any wrong ideas or hurt you. We could come up with some kind of excuse for you sitting out if that would help.
No, I will be fine. It'd be nice to have this before we all have to say goodbye. Thank you for hearing me out, Osman. I value our friendship and understand where you are coming from.
And thank you for being mature about this, the Mimith. At your age, doing something like this, I probably would have just fallen apart. And boy, do I wish my family could be at the caring and tight-knit like you and your friends, Thar, so that I could look forward to this party more. But it is what it is.
Suddenly, Osman and Mimith were interrupted by some loud sounds of shuffling, spell-casting, and shouting downstairs, as the two looked at each other with worry and quickly descended the Grooms tower. But before that, we shall rewind and switch the perspective over to Lux. She was going up the bridal tower to confront little Tawiddi. As our Eladrin approached the door, she could tell she arrived in the middle of a conversation. For meta context, Lux could only understand what Tawiddi was saying, not Momo's responses as a mouse.
Tawiddi, he even acknowledged Zugtmoy is a friggin' mass murderer, and he knew Sylvania has aided his life. Yet he could not pick between the psychopathic fungus lady and literally Mother Nature. Like, forget about even trying to convert his faith, if he can't even do that much?
I don't understand this at all. None of that makes any sense. I've always quite liked him. He seems kind, and always trying to give others a chance. But then, why?
That's the problem, Tawiddi. He's giving everyone a chance, including the lady that wants to take out our whole pantheonic court. Like, seriously,
Paranoid Orixian is busy treating me like I'm a demon out to hurt you. Yet the real ticking time bomb that's gonna get all of us killed is the friggin' Harangon. And even worse, he angered the goddess so much that she took over my body. I didn't even get the warning. I don't know how to describe it, but it was overwhelming.
Momo, I'm so sorry.
I can't stop shaking from it.
I don't even know what to say to that. The fact he chose her after everything that happened makes me feel unwell.
For Tawiddi, she reflected on the fact that her champion stone, given by Sylvania, came with a one-time guarantee of fate-changing intervention. But she had to use it at Zambu to save Orixian and Moravi. She no longer has the security of a second chance in her pocket like Gribble still does. Thus, Tarth's development towards Zugtmoy, the one that made her need to use that stone so soon, that now filled Tawiddi with dread. The girl sat in silence a minute, lost in different distressing thoughts. Lux now taking the opportunity to knock.
Hey Tawiddi, I was just checking on you. Is everything all right?
Oh yes, just stretching me legs out till I has to wild shape again. And I had a headache, so didn't want to be in a noisy room with everyone else.
That's also why I left. And to see you, of course. It's been a while. But I couldn't help noticing coming up the stairs I heard you talking. Is there another person here?
Ah, that was just me chatting with Momo. She hoped her rodent friend was going to choose her to partner with. But instead, he chose someone else that's mean. So she's very upset.
Oh dear, my apologies to Momo. I know rejection can be a tough pill to swallow. But how about you, Tawiddi? How are things going on your end?
Where to start? Uncle Gogo and Rixie are always going tit for tat. Cass has tried to mediate them, but seems to have given up, so he just sits quietly with Vivi as they rub their heads. Gogo is the bigger instigator, but he doesn't always mean to be. Whereas you know Rixie. He's Captain Broody.
Yeah, that sounds like nothing new there, unfortunately. But I assume that once the trains are fixed, it'll get better for you all. I do want to say, though, that I'm really glad you came here today, Tawiddi. I've missed you, and I think it's good for Gribble. Seeing you two get right back into the flow of things really warms me.
And I've missed you and Gribble a lot. We all do. I hope that even when the trains get fixed, we'll still try to see each other.
Of course, whenever we can. But actually, Tawiddi, speaking of Gribble, I was hoping you could help me with something that's been worrying me.
Tawiddi, there's a glint in her eye. Be on guard!
Oh? What's going on with Gribble? I mean, other than sometimes being a cranky pyromaniac.
There's always that, but my actual worry is that he has always been very open and trusting with me. But I feel like lately, he's hiding something from me.
I mean, is it necessarily a bad thing that he has things he is private about? I assume you do too, after all.
Actually, I'm an open book. I have no secrets from Gribble, nothing to hide here.
Lux massively failed her deception check against Tawiddi's insight.
Maybe your mistake is treating us too much like little kids still, when we are getting older, you know? Like, even though you just lied to me, that doesn't mean there's a problem between you and me. Right, Luxy Lux?
Let me rephrase. There's nothing wrong about having things one wants to keep to themselves. You're right about that. Unless, of course, it's starting to affect others and could hurt someone. Would you agree with that?
I think it can depend sometimes, but I hear you.
Of course. So the context in this case is his homunculus, Renrev. They seem to talk to each other, and it also does things for him that seem, well, extraordinary. To me, it seems that Renrev might be more than just a homunculus, and I'm worried about those implications.
And here we go. Damn it! I asked Renrev to protect me from Orixian. I didn't think to ask about her too.
Gee, Luxy Lux, you sound an awful lot like Rixie overly interpreting things. Sure, homunculi can't talk, but there's nothing wrong with pretending. They do have good intelligence, actually, and can take some complex orders that normal people can do. so it doesn't sound suspicious to me.
And by complex things, Tawiddi, does that include morphing into an almost 7-foot-tall suave table waiter that can turn people to a pile of ash?
Excuse me, what?
Whoa! Her right eyebrow isn't doing the flicker thing you told me about when she lies. She's telling the truth. Renrev, you messy swab idiot!
Now, to be clear, I don't necessarily believe Renrev to be a threat to us or Gribble. I know for a fact he has been helpful, which I sincerely appreciate. But I'm worried about Gribble and just want to make sure whatever this is won't blow up in all of our faces. Please, Tawiddi, has Gribble told you anything?
I do see your concern now. But sorry, Luxy, this is news to me. But if you want me to talk to him for you, I can do that and get back to you.
Well, no. Sorry, Tawiddi. But are you really going to keep pretending like you don't know something?
Only for as long as you're gonna keep pretending Rixie didn't put you up to this.
He's deeply worried about you, Tawiddi.
He's insecure over a mouse. That's a him problem, not a me problem.
Tawiddi, please. The gig is up. He knows. We know. It's best we maturely lay our cards out on the table before he does something drastic.
Damned if I do and damned if I don't. Cut me a damn break.
After not having close time with each other in however long, you really pretended to want to be with me, just so you can go behind Gribble's back and pressure me.
Tawiddi, of course I want to spend time with you.
Yeah, sure.
But I need to know that you and Gribble are safe.
You're worried over literally nothing. The only thing seemingly threatening us right now is you and Rixie.
And the friggin' Harengon!
Tawiddi, we know this isn't nothing. Are you really going to keep lying straight to my face?
And who do you think I learned that from? You know, this morning I cried thinking about how you're going to outlive all of us, and how I want to find a way so that you don't have to be alone. Now leave me be!
Tawiddi ran out of the room and rapidly descended the stairs. She stopped towards the bottom steps to sob into her hands, overwhelmed. Lux stood still for a moment to take a deep breath and steady her nerves.
Well, clearly that didn't work. But I can't leave Tawiddi on that note.
Lux gave Tawiddi a few minutes before softly approaching her, stopping short a few steps above where Tawiddi sat, leaning her back against the stone wall.
Look, I'm sorry I got angry, but please, just go. I'm having a bad day.
Tawiddi, if nothing else, can you just reassure me that if you or Gribble are in danger, or if something is urgent, even if it's embarrassing or something you're worried that would upset us, that you will nonetheless seek our help?
Yes. Why wouldn't I do that?
Good. I can live with that. I will try to talk to Orixian for you, all right?
Really? She's giving up? Damn, Gribble has no idea how easy he has it with her. Phew.
Before Tawiddi could answer Lux, loud sounds of shuffling, spell casting, and furious shouting just beyond the first-level door of this bridal tower echoed out as the ladies went wide-eyed recognizing the voices, them both now rushing out of there. But we will now rewind once again, switching to a different perspective. Orixian and Gribble had taken a walk entirely off the chapel grounds. They slinked past the cops out front who were still analyzing the conditions of the exploded carriage. Eventually, our boys found a wild area to scout for lizards.
So, Orixian, what did you want to ask me?
Well, you see, Gribble, in a recent roguish endeavor, and by that I mean within the first half hour of arriving to the wedding today, I stole this extract of fire breath off some wealthy-looking twerp. Do you know what its approximate value is, and anyone who might be interested in purchasing it?
Me! I'm interested! Give me it! Hand it over! Mine!
Gribble lunged at Orixian, trying to grab it as the swift rogue quickly raised it above his head. Gribble jumping up and down like an overexcited hound.
Gods, if only Tawiddi was as predictable and easy to bribe as Gribble is. Easy there, Gribble. Hang on. While of course I wouldn't charge you money for something like this, you're old enough now that we can, at least, barter something so that it's fair to both of us, right?
Fine! What do you want? Oh, I know. I can light Gorm's butt on fire for you.
Admittedly tempting. But actually, I'm more interested in your expertise in alchemy. So let me shoot some questions your way. And once you provide me enough of your immense intelligence, then I'll give it to you. And then we can watch you embrace your inner dragon outside here. Deal?
Deal! Hurry it up already! Ask me the questions!
Well, there's no rush, Gribble. Relax. We're supposed to be catching lizards.
I can't focus on that until I get the extract! So hurry it up, and then we can catch lizards!
Orixian sulked a bit sadly. The whole Renrev stuff aside, he was low-key excited to show Gribble a game from his childhood, but oh well. A rapid back-and-forth line of questioning ensued from Orixian about homunculi, as Gribble continuously dodged as much as he could. The rogue aimed to fatigue the kiddo, so as to inch key details out of him little by fucking little. Eventually, he tricked Gribble into getting defensive about Renrev's intentions, as the boy asserted that the homunculus is like a friend, confirming that Renrev takes the initiative to look out for Gribble, be nice and sweet to him with words of encouragement. The boy insisted, nothing bad or nefarious whatsoever.
But friendship is a two-way street, Gribble. You know, give and take. So surely he's asked some kind of favor of you at some point.
Nope, that's not how a homunculus works. Trust me, I'm the expert.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Gribble, because I did try to take some initiative and went to the library to read up on alchemical homunculi. It turns out that they can't talk, can't read, can't write, and can't telepathically communicate because they don't have a damned brain. They can only understand the verbal orders of their creator. Thus, they can't do anything independently unless their creator commands them to. So, Gribble, how do you explain that with what you just told me about Renrev?
Simple. I'm special.
I'm guessing Renrev told you that.
Yup! Wait, I mean no! I meant to say I just built Renrev to be special!
Okay, well that sounds like the kind of details I'm looking for if you want this fire breath. What special thing makes Renrev superior to all other homunculi?
The crystal!
Orixian raised a brow. He could tell the moment that came out of Gribble's mouth there was the slightest tinge of regret. Some aspect of this had to be the truth, and it made sense. Orixian felt dumb for not thinking about it sooner.
Ah, the crystal. Yes, there are many magical crystals in the world indeed. They can do all kinds of things. I have one that changes my appearance, so Renrev's crystal gives him a personality of sorts, is what you're saying?
A magician never reveals their secrets.
You're not a magician, though. You're an alchemist. Come on, Gribble. Help out a lonely rogue and tell me where or who you got this special crystal from.
It's from a secret stash I found, and I am sharing it with nobody.
Oh, wait a minute, I just remembered. Lux told me that you called this homunculus a gift from DEA. So is that where the crystal supposedly came from?
Gribble had always been loose-lipped with that info, and Renrev never cared, since no one believed the boy anyway. But now, suddenly, Gribble felt conflicted. But he shrugged and repeated it, since it's what he's already been saying. And it was the truth after all.
Why, yes it is! So there! You can't find it, and you can't have it, because I'm special, and you're not!
Ah, I get it now. Classic. The Predator is using religion to manipulate Gribble. Any powerful person can easily pose themselves as a blessed figure of authority. Fuck. How do I reach Gribble in this situation? Okay, my card's on the table, Gribble. I know for a fact, Renrev and Momo are telling you and Tawiddi to keep secrets from Lux and I. Have you at any point paused to wonder how that's just a bit fishy?
Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why are you hung up over a stupid homunculus?
Because I fucking care about you and I'm scared for you, Gribble.
He's a tiny thing I built in one night. What is there to be scared of, you weirdo?
He's also supposedly a tall and suave table waiter with very strong powers.
Oh, that wasn't Renrev. That was... crap. I forget his name. There's your proof. I don't remember his name. Lux is jumping to conclusions.
Gribble, you're changing right in front of my fucking eyes. Suddenly you have horn-like bumps, extra discs in your spine at your ass, and a man talking to you through the homunculus telling you to keep secrets from us.
I told you since we met that I am a dragon. I am literally turning into a dragon. This predates you, dude.
I'm sorry I didn't believe you sooner, but why are you turning into a dragon, Gribble?
Because dragons are friggin' amazing!
You're already amazing, Gribble. Who fucking put in your head that you aren't good enough as you are?
I did, and it's none of your friggin' business.
Like fuck, it isn't my business. Tell me why you and Tawiddi can't trust us.
We do trust you guys! We're just trying to protect you.
Then trust me that this isn't good for you and you're making a big fucking mistake.
You can't say that! You don't know the details!
Gee, I fucking wonder why that is, Gribble.
Just calm down, dude. It will all make sense eventually. Give it time, and I'll prove it.
No. If you aren't gonna cooperate, then I'll just have to do things my way.
And what do you mean by that?
I don't see any reason why I should answer that question.
Orixian, don't you dare hurt him, or else...
Ha! Or else what?
Or else I will burn you down!
As Gribble grit his teeth in fury, Orixian was taken aback as his heart panged sadly. This wasn't what he wanted for their boy time. If Gribble hating Orixian is the result of assuring he and Lux are safe, then so be it. He'll be the bad guy.
Don't worry, Gribble. You're not the only one who wants to watch me burn. But I see that I've taken up enough of your time, and time is money after all. Here's your payment. You wanted this fire-breathing potion, right? Well, go and get it then.
Orixian threw the extract hard and fast. Gribble could have attempted to run and muster some kind of tool to try and save it, but his internal burst of protectiveness over Renrev fueled his obstinance. Gribble did not take his eyes off Orixian's, even as the sound of the glass shattered over a stone in the distant background.
That must have taken a lot of restraint, Gribble. I'm actually impressed to see some conviction in you.
Maybe people wouldn't want to watch you burn if you weren't such an ass, Orixian!
True that, Gribble. No argument here.
He said as he turned his back to the boy, casually walking away with his hands in his pockets, hiding his fists that were determined to strangle the homunculus. But in another timeline that does not exist, where the god Tyr didn't tie the harmful side of a fate thread to the homunculus, Orixian would have just bitterly tossed the fire breath extract to Gribble and left to carry out his initial plan, which was if his and Lux's talks with the kiddos failed to reassure them. Then Orixian, with the help of a certain shadowy companion, would capture and restrain both Renrev and Momo, where he would then later secretly bring Lux to interrogate the creatures together. After that, no one knows what would have happened, since it never came to be. Thus, Tyr's fate thread changed that trajectory once the center of it noosed over Orixian, which, for me, begs the question, Renrev. Just how much influence do these threads allow the gods to have control over us mortals?
Ha! Well, for starters, Mr. Narrator, let's get something straight. You'll want to brace yourself for how ridiculous this sounds, but fate is an aggravating creature to try and predict, tame, and control, even for us immortals. Like any other cat, you never know if she's in the mood to play or too busy licking her ass, or if she's going to be sweet or a complete fucking cunt by knocking a bunch of pieces off the game board by dragging the threads all around like a furry terrorist.
Wait, hold on. I do remember Deaa referring to Fate as a cat when saying goodbye to Gribble the last time he visited her before the network. But I thought that was just a metaphor. Like, literally whenever someone says something poetic, like Fate brought us together, they're referring to an actual fucking cat?
Well, technically I haven't seen Fate the cat myself to know how much of an actual cat she is, but that's what we've been told by She the Supreme, the god of gods. Fate is her white cat. And our use of Fate threads double as stimulation for the cosmic feline, as she eventually will come to play and make the magic happen. Most mortals of Gikarin have no clue about this, aside from deep religious scholars with an obsessively niche hobby in cosmology, and even most of them treat it more like a myth than fact. I choose to be a believer because it's funnier that way.
What the fuck? Okay, whatever. Regardless if fate is a cat or some other phenomena, I'm still not understanding how this works or to what extent your kind can manipulate these threads of fate. Like, I recall from several summaries ago where you said there are too many fate threads getting tangled and turning into a web, which is the main reason a big world feels like a small one. Back then, you also said it's the god of gods domain, which is why the rest of you immortals supposedly can't snip some of these awful fate threads, only lay them down. But you also said that domains aren't even a real thing in the last summary.
My apologies for the confusion, Mr. Narrator. The God of Gods is, of course, an exception. Fate threads are her domain, plain and simple. We buy the threads directly from her in exchange for mana. And yes, again, she also is the one that gives us mana to begin with, in exchange for the faith and fear mortals give our kind. I'm sure there's some symbolism there. As for your other question, I guess think of the game that we immortals play to be a bit like, but not literally, the gods writing a story, but where the gods are only allowed to write a vague outline of events. 2 bullet points representing each end of a thread. Mind you, threads are royally fucking expensive mana-wise, so it's a necessary skill trying to get good with as few threads as possible to get what you want. But the less threads you use, the less certain you are of what happens between the bullet point. Thus the meat of the metaphorical story, that which dictates how bullet point A turns into bullet point B. This is where Fate the cat comes in. The feline tugging on the middle of a thread, dragging it on the chessboard. There's always an unknown third party. The middle of the thread nooses over to create the very tension that forces the thread to fold and the ends to meet. We immortals can imbue intentions into threads to further narrow down possibilities of how Fate the cat will behave with them. But in typical feline fashion, sometimes fate is a fat dick. No matter what you do,
It sounds like you all need to just stop putting threads down and stop toying with people's fate, and that would solve a lot of problems.
You're so cute, Mr. Narrator.
I am being fucking serious here.
I know you are, and it's adorable. Here, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go and make your pitch to the rest of the gods, and if you can get all the others to agree to stop, then we will happily comply. Otherwise, Mr. Narrator, us not using fate threads simply means us losing the game to the gods that will continue to use them.
Ugh, I do get your point, Renrev. But that's why we need some of your kind to cooperate with each other and set aside your differences, for fuck's sake.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Narrator. The gods can totally cooperate with each other. It's certainly happened before. I'm pleased to let you know that it only takes a vote of 7 out of 9 gods underneath She the Supreme to decide to wrap this world up, blow it to fucking pieces, call the game a draw and start a new world to do it all over again. But I don't think that's what you meant by cooperate, now is it? Anywho, shouldn't we get back to the story?
Renrev, sometimes you are one sick fuck. But back to Gribble and Orixian wasting their time fighting over this immortal clown.
Orixian! Where the hell are you going?
Where else would I go, Gribble? Obviously the chapel. I assume you don't want to walk with me right now, so you can either wait here for a bit or run ahead of me. Up to you.
Gribble chose to slightly run ahead of Orixian, turning his head back now and then to assure the rogue wasn't doing something nefarious. But once they made it back to the chapel, Gribble beelined it for Deaa's statue in the nave. The same moment the kiddo bolted, Orixian snapped into invisibility behind Gribble's back, making a hide check to firmly lose the boy, who only rolled a 5 perception check. Thankfully, the nave was empty, as all partygoers were jovially in the music-filled courtyard, as this room would soon become the climax between 2 gods and their threads of fate. But before that, we shall rewind to switch perspectives one last time as Thotham followed Leah into the nave, observing her press a button disguised as a regular stone in the wall. It didn't appear that anything had changed, until she then disappeared into a wall, waving her arm back through the illusion, beckoning him to follow. From within, Leah unlocked the gate that barred off the holy hall for Thotham as they continued onward, both unaware they were being followed from up high, as Renrev was rock climbing while looking down at them. And karmically, he too was unaware of something stalking him from the shadows.
My fucking gods, this is tiring. Come on, you two, hurry it up. If only my wings weren't so noisy to use, curse this blasted tiny form with pitiful manner.
Leah showed Thotham to the door of Tyr's sanctuary, then left the holy hall, locking it up behind him. Our Goliath took a deep bow in front of Tyr's statue, proceeding through the ceremonial steps to enter the sanctuary. The stone door moved with a rumble, as Thotham took only one step in the doorframe, before freezing in surprise.
Oh, for fuck's sake, and what now? Go inside already!
Thotham's chest rose up in sheer joy as the High Priestess Zainab smiled and turned to respectfully bow to both gentlemen and take her leave. Thotham now happily shouted like a kid on solstice morning,
Ulfgar!
Whereas Renrev's mechanical eyes widened in horror.
Did he just say Ulfgar? No, it can't be.
Renrev lowered himself over the frame of the closing stone door, desperate for a peek, but he could only see Thotham's back, the Goliath completely covering up the view of the dwarven war cleric, even as he picked him up and squeezed Ulfgar into a big, tight hug. The dwarf's legs waddled in surprise and minor suffocation.
Thotham, my friend, I have missed you too, but you're squeezing the lunch out of me.
Oops, my bad. Sorry, Ulfgar, but wow, is it good to see you.
Thotham placed the dwarf back down, now in Renrev's sight, but only for a flash moment. That was all the homunculus needed.
Oh no.
The homunculus hung there pathetically, in disbelief. The last thing Renrev able to see was the eyes of Tyr's full body statue glowing in a way that felt like a sneer. The stone door snapped shut with a rattle that knocked Renrev down to the floor, the homunculus picking itself back up and kicked the door frustratedly, before trying to desperately cram his head into the seam so to eavesdrop.
Don't worry, Ulfgar. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm not going to hold back on a single detail of what I have experienced since the last time I saw you, up through now.
No, 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 no! Thotham, you big bumbling idiot! You have no idea what the fuck you're doing!
Renrev was manically pacing back and forth, trying to think of something to stop this meeting. But suddenly, Renrev's attention was distracted by a fast-moving shadow from the corner of his eye, slowly turning around and narrowing his gaze suspiciously before. Suddenly!
Ah!
It was just a black cat, one eye green and the other blue.
Oh my. You must be a chapel cat, maybe. You are a striking-looking feline. Hey, there's a big Goliath rat behind this door if you want to go get him for me. Pretty please?
The answer was no, as the cat batted Renrev in a harsh swipe, flinging him down and pitifully scraping across the floor. The feline immediately pounced before Renrev could get up, placing its paw firmly down on the back of the homunculus, simply holding him hostage. Conveniently too far away from Tyr's sanctuary to possibly hear anything.
No fuck, whelp. I'm definitely not feeling very lucky right now. You're not gonna just keep me pinned here for a long time, right? Shit. I could reach Milady Deaa for help, but that's exactly what Tyr wants me to do. Nope. Too bad. I'm not gonna give it. Go fuck yourself, Tyr.
The cat simply laid down on Renrev now, its blue eye now changing to green. And it was at this point, Orixian's eye within the Grooms tower turned back to blue. He no longer needed to keep hiding half his face from the others as he approached Gribble, offering to catch lizards, smirking to himself how he was technically already ahead of the game by one mechanical lizard. But now, let us return to Tyr's sanctuary, after Thotham informed Ulfgar of every single main plot detail possible of his adventure thus far.
And then this morning, our wedding carriage on the way here was bombed by the Sand Stealthers. Then we did the Concho wedding for the racist family, and a mystical tree appeared, but then immediately wilted as soon as Tarth ascended the altar. I still haven't asked him about that yet. Of all my party mates, I'm most concerned about him. But whew, that was a lot. So, Ulfgar, what are your thoughts?
Ulfgar's jaw had long fallen agape and eyes frozen wide with confusion and horror.
Ulfgar, are you okay? I know that was a lot to take in.
Sorry, I'm okay. I am starting to get old, so slow processing. I can't promise you that I caught all of that, but I can promise you I caught a good bit. I am very worried for you, my friend. That was much worse than I expected. But thankfully, I am no stranger to these kind of, what to call it? Let's call it otherworldly entanglements. They are awful to go through, and I am so sorry for that, my friend. And I hope you know me well enough to not take the next thing I'm about to say as minimizing your pain by any means.
No, of course not. I know you. Please speak freely, Ulfgar.
Good. But basically, these kind of rare, cosmically painfully aligning circumstances are often what makes some of the finest, most divine and worthy heroes out there. Truthfully, Thotham, I haven't heard a storied story quite like yours since my protege that came before you. Which, from what you've shared, I did at least catch that you now know who I am and why I am sort of famous. I can't believe I managed to keep that from you for so long.
Well, as you know, Ulfgar, I was quite sheltered in my upbringing. I didn't know who I was, let alone you. And pretty much since the moment I left your wing, shit has hit the fan non-stop for me. Nice to see you're still humble as always, though. You're not just sort of famous. You're world-renowned.
I'm not being humble, though. I'm only a minor celebrity in the public mindset, world or not. It's my protege that's the real big deal. The world just sees me as the guy that trained the lead member of the legendary Dawn Chasers. Or, in other words, the champion of God, Tyr. And boy, would I like for you two to meet someday. But, as you can imagine and relate to Thotham, even in his hero's retirement, he's, dealing with quite a lot.
I can only imagine how much worse he has it. But I do understand that well. Meeting him would be a huge honor, Ulfgar. I don't know that I'd ever consider myself that worthy. All I have under my belt is killing that fucking bear and a merch line that I'm not even profiting from.
Well, now look who's being the humble one. That dire bear was a mutant. That monstrosity caused an avalanche that sent thousands into poverty for decades. That bear created civil tension between the clan's lands and Empire's residents as they pointed their fingers at each other with hate and despair with no hope of a solution. You replaced the symbol of fear with the symbol of valor. Through you, Thotham, the people felt justice. You can underplay that if you want. After all, it's not going to be the thing you're most famous for in the end. But there's no harm in a little pride so long as you keep a clear head.
I do take some pride in my accomplishments, especially since I've managed to be different from the man that raised me. But Ulfgar, what thing are you talking about that I will become famous for? I can't think of anything else.
Oh ho! Just another one of my tactical secrets. I did briefly mention it to you in my letter. I try to save these kind of things for when I think they'll be most meaningful to someone. And, well, it sounds like with your hardships lately, that now's a fine time to tell you the vision I had back when we first met. I had just got back from visiting my dearest protege in Maypline. My arrival to Vredana Spire's War Cathedral of Tyr was a rather dreary entrance. The clouds were dark, and the rain was thick. But boy, was I happy to be back home and looking forward to taking a rest among some of my closest siblings in faith. And as I made my way through the beautiful floral courtyard among statues of celestials and heroes, I dropped my umbrella at the sight of you, Thotham. You were so focused on prayer that not only did you not notice me standing there, but you also didn't realize that an angel was watching over you. She was strong and beautifully radiant with blind, folded eyes. She was seemingly weeping in relief over your praying shoulder. And then she turned to me and her angelic voice said into my mind,
"Please, help this poor child's journey, for it will likely be a long one."
Then with a crack of thunder, she was gone. From the dark sky, some of the clouds parted, and a warm light shined down on us as the rain finally slowed. Only then did you finally turn to notice me, both of us sopping wet with mops for beards. And I said to you, "Young lad, may I ask what has brought you to our cathedral to pray today?" And then you replied to me with,
I prayed for the world to have more justice in it, and I wished for knowledge to learn how to fight against the father of lies.
So, yeah, badass answer there, my friend. And so, I accepted I could not relax yet, for Tyr had entrusted you to me. Thus, I invited you inside and took you under my wing. I didn't tell you all this, nor tell you who I was, because I wanted to see who you were, Thotham. Who you were as a man choosing to serve the god Tyr, rather than a man chosen by the god Tyr. No matter how humble one is, it does something to the brain, you know? I too started thinking I seemed a little more handsome after my protege became his champion.
For what it's worth, I think you're a handsome guy, Ulfgar.
Thank you. You more so, obviously. After all, you killing a bear isn't the only appeal of your mysterious merch line. But I'm not done talking fateful stuff yet. Two more things. Firstly, I'm not the only one having visions and dreams with you.
Yeah, I read that in a lot of fan mail.
I meant High Priestess Zainab.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
She awoke this morning in a cold sweat. Within the dream, the High Priestess saw herself sobbing on the ground in front of a giant balancing scale, of which were ominously displaced. It sat at the top of a castle, the entire scale from the base leaning uncomfortably towards the right. One side had a rabid, wild cat. On the other end of the scales, an innocent soul was imprisoned. It seemed the wild cat would doom them both with its chaos. That is until you arrived, Thotham, Zainab said. In the dream, you charged, running fast past her, climbing up and then flying down, sending your hammer onto the imprisoning bars that restrained the innocent soul. Then you took those bars and flung them at the wildcat, and bang! You knocked it off and safely escaped with the saved soul. Thus, balance and order was restored.
Smash bars. Free the innocent. Throw bars at cat. Got it.
Now, what does any of that mean? Sorry, friend. Couldn't tell you, but I'll be in here hiding and praying on your behalf, trying to balance your scales. Which brings me to my last note before I let you go.
Well, before we hear Ulfgar deliver his last note for Thotham, we rewind a little bit and return to what happened in the hallway outside the sanctuary during all this.
You know, between your fairy black ass sitting on me and she the Supreme's dick of a white cat named Fate, I think I'm starting to become prejudiced against felines. I don't want that to happen. You're such elegant beasts. But for fuck's sake, I'm about to start telling myself puns because I'm starting to get fucking bored.
The cat's ears perked back, attuning to something in the far distance, now purring in pleasure and taking a nip at Renrev's metal tail poking out from underneath itself.
Well, I'm glad at least one of us is having a positive attitude. Though you know what? I do have to admit this is a humbling experience. It's been so long since I was an ignorant mortal that I mostly forgot what the flip side of fate threads feel like. Rather nostalgic, isn't it?
Renrev could now hear the sound of lock-picking down the hall as the cat's tail raised in greeting.
Oh, thank fuck.
The footsteps approached, and then abruptly stopped in front of the cat, as Renrev tried to flail and bring attention to the fact he was underneath the feline. Orixian crouched down to scratch the cat's chin sweetly.
Good job, Midnight. Here's a meaty treat. Just don't tell Ifrit. Thank you for your help. You're dismissed to go back to care on.
Midnight stood, keeping a paw on Renrev as it headbutted Orixian's knee lovingly, and then faded back to the surface ethereal.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was the Midnight. Great. That means the Court of Death is definitely going to find out about this and laugh at me. Oh well, it is kind of funny, I guess. And at least I've been saved.
Renrev was mid-thought and now entirely caught off guard by the sheer momentum. That bludgeoned into his pathetic tiny body. The homunculus now kicked airborne and slammed him into the fucking stone wall. Then adding insult to injury, Orixian now threw 2 darts, pinning Renrev's wings in place. Him splayed out widely and fully compromised.
Holy fuck! I don't know what the hells I did to you. But more of that, please.
Orixian crossed his arms and approached the pinned homunculus closely. Renrev stuck at the same height as the rogue's shoulders, well beneath his glare.
Hey, Renrev. Glad to have a one-on-one with you finally. You know, something has been bothering me. Do you know what that is?
I mean, you're a rogue. That means you're inherently bothered, right? I'm guessing one or both of your parents are dead and or suck ass. You fucked up once, and some aspect of society has permanently rejected you for it. You're cold as ice on the outside, except those closest to you. And you're a flood of emotions on the inside, but you bottle that up to burst onto whichever poor bloke of the day slightly irritated you. Which I guess is me. Oh, wait. I do actually know why you're bothered. Sorry, it took me a moment or so. Miss Moonswarm must have had a talk with you, eh?
That was an awful lot of gear grinding noises, Renrev.
Unfortunately, vocal cords aren't a feature of homunculi, and I'm too tiny to be heard from the inside. Only my young master can understand my metallic click-clackinese. I mean, I could telepathically communicate with you, but what's the fun in that?
I was so bored before you pranced in here. I want to piss you off, and you want to be pissed at me?
How lucky we are, Mr. Frilham, to want the same thing at the same time.
I can't fucking understand you, but I know you have some sort of means to communicate because you do it with Gribble. And don't play fucking dumb with me, Renrev. You have gotten way too cocky with your behaviors that are clearly not homunculi in nature.
You're right, my bad. It's just weird, you know? You all never take my young master seriously, so it didn't quite dawn on me that you all would start taking me, his tiny tin can of a pet, seriously, you know?
In a fast swipe, Orixian took his palm and slammed it upward under the jaw. One of the bolts connecting the hinge now bent out of shape from the forced overstretch of the joint, as Orixian, holding a dagger, leaned his arm on the wall above Renrev's head.
I know Gribble is not the one pulling the strings of this device, so the sketchy, suave table waiter that is controlling it better speak the fuck up and cut the shit, or else I'll cut you to pieces and incinerate the fucking crystal alongside a skewered mouse.
Whoa, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, don't threaten me with a good time. Secondly, I'm impressed and a little annoyed how Miss Moonsworn could have deduced who I am. Oh well, it is what it is. Happy to hear she found me suave, though. I'm so sorry that you seem hung up on that word. Lastly, can we please leave Miss Momo out of this? Children shouldn't be exposed to such intimate moments. You depressed, edgy weirdo.
The simmering rogue rose to a boil as he grasped the body of the homunculus in his leathered hand, with the wings bending between his fingers as he ripped Renrev off the wall, sending the darts to clatter onto the floor. Then Orixian slammed the device back into the wall with a metallic-sounding crunch, him manually holding Renrev up now.
Ha ha ha! Harder! Why are you holding back?
If you have done anything foul to Gribble or Lux, then I swear that I will stop at nothing to find you, kill you, and haunt your death door like a fucking rabid landlord.
Fascinating proposal. If only I wasn't immortal. One hypothetical question, though. Would these terms and conditions still apply if Lux was the one to ask me to be foul with her?
Orixian angrily lunged his dagger down Renrev's fucking throat with a heated malice.
I don't know what in the hells you just said, but from how shit-faced beady your eyes got, I can tell it was fucking sassy.
Now no longer able to clicky-clack sass back the pissy rogue, from within the homunculus and inside the crystal is a fanciful Victorian-style mansion. A nearly nude Renrev stands in a complicated runic machine. He wears a cyborg-like helmet with goggles, knee-high and elbow-length metal boots, and gloves like a mad scientist. Throughout his bare skin are about 70 pinprick suction nodes attached to wires that syncs physical events the homunculus experiences with his own humanoid one. Renrev now left with little choice but to disconnect the nodes from his throat so as to be capable of coughing out the gurgle of his dark, sapphire-colored blood that bubbled in his throat.
Well, on one hand, I see why Momo was so nervous now. Poor kid. But on the other hand, wow. I didn't have getting deep-throated by a Thanite steel on my bingo card. I wonder what Orixi would have done to me if he heard what I actually said.
My, Renrev. That's a good look for you. You swallow steel so elegantly.
Milady Deaa, wait. Why are you spectating? I didn't call you in.
Oh, well, excuse me for interrupting within my own chapel. Put a sock on the snout of the homunculus next time, and maybe I'll take the hint.
Milady, you know I love hearing from you. But Tyr is spectating, and I suspect he wanted me to call you in. Thus, I was trying to avoid that.
Oh, I see. Wow, what a nasty fate thread. Looks like the asshole of Order discovered you're a separate entity from the homunculus. Shit. I'm actually here, Renrev, because our little dragon is having a panic attack in front of my statue as we speak. The boy is deeply worried for you.
Oh, my young master is so sweet. As much as I'm rather amused by this broody Thanite right now, I would of course prefer to get back to Gribble and out of Tyr's clutches before friggin' Ulfgar finds me.
Did you say Ulfgar? Tyr's augmented pawn that trained his bishop piece? Ah, fuck. So he's tied to Thotham then. Dirty move. I'm admittedly impressed.
Sorry to be a negative Nancy for a second, but with Gribble getting shaken up, I'm really worried about him unwittingly harming Ulfgar, thus breaking the alliance terms and forcing us to forfeit a quarter of our mana to fucking Tyr.
It feels silly to go that far just because I, God forbid, threaded Thotham to gain a bit of a more nuanced view of his faith. And apparently I was justified to do so, since he was already threaded to Ulfgar before getting dropped on my playing field as a spy. But 'tis the game we immortals play. Thus, what is our next move?
As the two immortals kept the hallway in time stopped stasis to think, we moved back into the Justice Seeker's sanctuary. Ulfgar pulled from his carry bag an artifact he laid on the table in front of Thotham.
This artifact, my friend, is called the Scales of Fate. It was a gift to me from my protege, after he outwitted a sphinx. These are said to be common in the realm of Angelus. The Celestials use this to decide which of Tyr's worshippers are in need of their aid or intervention against the obstruction from other divine forces. In the case of these scales, if the plates remain equal, then all is well and neutrally balanced. If the named plate rises, then Tyr's celestial influence is surrounding you. But if the plates fall for a worshipper, that is most ominous. It means the worshipper is under some kind of influence or attack from the goals of other gods. Now, to be clear, neither of the extreme positions automatically imply direct targeting, so it has its limits.
Very cool. So this device here must have been literally used and held by an angel at some point. Wow.
Indeed. I do assume our Father of Justice above does not find it ill of me to utilize this artifact, so long as it's for the sake of serving the greater good.
I'm sure whatever angel lost this could come get it back if they really needed it, so I think you're good, Ulfgar. If my opinion counts for anything, that is...
Well, considering you were touched by an angel, I think your opinion counts. But my dear Thotham, I've been using the scales to check on you between weekly and daily intervals since you left my wing.
Wow, you didn't have to do that for me. I know how busy you must be.
Oh, but I did have to. You're one of my favorites, after all. But shh, I'm not supposed to say things like that.
Thotham smiled warmly as Ulfgar pulled out 2 weights from his pocket and demonstrated to the Goliath that they were both exactly the same and maintained equilibrium between each other. But then, the dwarf removed them again, then writing Thotham's name in arcane ink on one, before placing it back onto the scales. The one bearing our Goliath's identity dramatically fell.
Yeah, that makes sense with everything I've gone through since I left your side.
No, Thotham. While there has been some short periods of stark drops, your scales overall, for the most part, were risen or balanced. That is, until about 3 months ago. But even more recently, they took a deeper nosedive. Thus, here I am, in the flesh, desperately trying to serve as a beacon and put a spotlight on you for some holy backup against whatever god is sinking their nasty claws into you. I mean, I just assume Asmodeus. But this targeting is so heavy-handed, I'm not sure what the heck you could have done. Plenty of clerics take out his demons like you did, and they don't end up in your predicament. It feels so random, like maybe you're cursed with bad luck.
Actually, Ulfgar, funny you word it that way. Because I wonder if it might be DEAA.
What? No way, Thotham. What makes you possibly suggest Our Lady of Luck?
Well, the youngest party member I told you about, Gribble. Something about him does seem a bit extra. But he's always coming at me about how stupid he thinks Tyr is. Always preaching Dea's supremacy and how she lets worshippers do whatever the hell chaotic shit they want. He's very competitive about trying to knock me down a peg for worshipping Tyr.
Oh, come now, Thotham. He's just a child. You can't take him seriously. I mean, look. You'll find good, bad, and annoying worshippers of almost any of the gods. Even if the boy is blessed by Deaa in some small way, all the evidence you need against what the child preaches is right here in this very chapel. Without the Trifecta Alliance, the Dark Trio would have consumed our world already. And if you want my opinion, the Trifecta need our help to promote their wisdom to the masses. Show the boy that the path together is better. Only then can little Gribble comprehend how and why Tyr and Deaa are likely very good friends who came together to make a better world for us all. You're already a hero to many, my friend. Now you can be a role model for this boy.
I'll keep trying Ulfgar. He can be a pain in my butt. But he's got a fiery passion, and I do care about him. We've made some progress. In time, I hope he can see the light.
That's the spirit. You'll get there. If Deaa and Tyr can set aside their differences and work together, then their followers can too.
As the 2 war clerics began to wrap things up, we returned the perspective back to the time-stopped hallway outside Tyr's sanctuary, the final minutes before a collision would come.
Tyr is the bane of my fucking existence. But admittedly, I'm quite amused by this conflict of interest. I despise this rogue's immense hate of you, while appreciative of his unwavering loyalty to our dear Gribble.
I wish I could be enjoying the fruit of Orixian's labor right now. Too bad the homunculus is almost dead. Hilariously, he seems to think Momo and I are child traffickers.
Most likely it's his trauma from when Sylvania first fate threaded the rogue to the champion we selected for her. He and his half-orc partner were the only option nearby that could save the girl. Them stealing the cargo that contained Tawiddi, alongside a dozen other dead children in Pellen's Spire. So to be fair, from a mortal's perspective, Orixian's rationale about you does make a lot more sense than reality in this case.
Oh, I didn't know that about Miss Tawiddi. She's much stronger than she appears.
I didn't go out of my way to mention it because I didn't want to remind you of what happened. Sorry.
I'm fine. Don't worry.
I appreciate your care. I guess Tawiddi's preoccupation about Lux outliving everyone makes way more sense now. And perhaps whatever happened might explain the young gnome's giftedness. But alas, we've trailed too far off. We need to make a decision, milady. It's obvious Tyr is trying to rile up Gribble and push you into a mini-cold battle we can't possibly win in these conditions.
Yet, I also can't ignore the child in my own chapel under these circumstances, Renrev. We need your homunculus to survive this encounter, so that Gribble isn't without your guidance if he and Ulfgar meet. And like fuck if I'm going to let Tyr intimidate me. Even if I can't win, I can at least leave him with a regrettable headache. And besides, I'm already sinking too much mana holding the hallway in stasis. Might as well drop a fate thread declaring my presence. Then see what I can do to minimize the damage. I'd like to thread a solid pawn of my own, preferably. Any suggestions?
Very well then. My choice would be a pawn of yours named Leah. I know she has the keys to this hallway and she's got a lot of pent-up stress. So, why don't we give her an outlet for it?
Perfect. I'll tie her hostility to Orixian and hope the homunculus gets noosed. Dearest Leah, you can't hear me, but your goddess is watching you. Your random odds of luck today were very low, but now that I'm here, they are in your favor by at least a fraction. Please, show your goddess that your faith is strong enough to sense my will.
At this moment, Leah was anxiously staring at the rotten tree in the chapel nave, still bewildered and disturbed by its foreboding presence. But her attention was then distracted from it, as she noticed Gribble intensely praying to Dea's statue, practically writhing on his knees still for help that would soon be on its way.
What a dedicated little guy to Our Lady of Luck. Maybe after the wedding, I'll secretly show him Dea's sanctuary. Oh, wait, shit, I almost forgot. I didn't refresh the holy water there this morning. I gotta go do that before Zainab notices.
Leah ran right past Gribble to the sanctuary to complete her chore. Immediately entering, seeing Orixian behave so violently in a holy place was already enough to piss her off, but that magnified when she recognized the object receiving his violence. Feeling particularly defensive of her younger sibling in faith, as well as personal fucking spite for having recently had her own proud fire and ice art project sabotaged by racists. Leah now marching to provide Gribble the kind of passionate defense she has long wished others would do for her and Osman.
Ha! Got her. So sorry, Mr. Frilhan. I thought we were having a good time. But all good things must come to an end, I suppose. I feel kind of bad. He's gonna get shit just for trying to protect my young master. I don't want to discourage that instinct.
Ultimately, not my pawn, not my problem. We also have an obligation to protect Sylvania's playing field, so him getting caught will hopefully spare Momo. The fact Tyr just placed her avatar more at risk just to be petty against us when we didn't break any rules to begin with, that is, well, dare I say, unjustifiable.
If only Sylvania had a backbone, but she'd rather spend her energy terrorizing a deranged Harangon mid-wedding than dare show a shred of conviction to Tyr.
And on that note, the door to Tyr's sanctuary began to rumble open, as the gentlemen inside wrapped up their conversation.
Anyway, I have set aside enough time to stay here at Trifecta Chapel, at least through the holidays, to make a more concerted effort to bring your scales back to balance. And of course, Thotham, I am happy to serve as a resource for you if you ever need me, or just want to hang and find a quiet spot to get a beer.
Oh, fucking great. Ulfgar's staying for the fucking holidays.
Damn. We sure could use Ava's help in these trying times. But she'd probably light me on fire if I even tried to say hello.
I deeply appreciate you going out of your way for me, Ulfgar. I already feel so much better knowing you're here and staying a while. Thank you. We definitely need to get a beer and have you meet all my new friends I told you about.
Thotham, are these your new friends?
The dwarf asked as both he and Thotham stared stunned at mechanical Renrev with a dagger down his throat, Orixian holding him against the wall and Leah angrily pulling the rogue by the ear. And in this moment of stunned silence, another god enters the scene. Deaa quickly allowing Renrev to eavesdrop on her mind, so as to secretly hear what the god Tyr has to say.
Ah, Our Lady of Luck joins my minigame. I do hope you find it as amusing as I do. Deatrice, I quite like this look for Renrev, but what do you think?
Firstly, I think that I need to puke for reasons I dare not tell you.
I can't believe he said the same thing you did. I'd hack another gearball if there wasn't a dagger in my fucking throat. He still doesn't know what we did to ourselves, right?
None of them have any clue. You're good, my friend.
In all seriousness, Deaa, I do imagine it must be upsetting seeing your right hand compromised like this. I am sorry I felt it had to come to this.
Deeply. I'm choking up as we speak.
Ha! That makes two of us.
Does that mean you've had enough yet? Are you finally ready to sit down and talk?
Deaa ignored Tyr. The gods now preparing their next move to Thread while watching the scene play out with Thotham falling into the heroic role as Ulfgar catered to the Goliath's lead.
All right, first of all, Leah, please let Orixian go. Then Orixian, please let Renrev go. Then we'll all talk it out.
Wait, Thotham, I know how this looks, and I know you and I haven't seen eye to eye. But man to man right now, I fucking swear there is something nefarious with this thing. I am deeply fucking concerned this homunculus has been altered in some way that poses a threat to Gribble. No less, I found it here, slithering in this hallway, I think to spy on you.
Whoa. Adding that last detail was entirely unnecessary. Way to be a fucking narc, Orixian. I don't feel bad for you anymore.
Do you hear yourself? Your stories are getting more paranoid by the minute. You aren't even Gribble's guardian. Lux is.
Orixian tightened his grasp on Renrev bitterly with that spoken remark from Leah, Tyr's fate thread increasing his anguish about how if only Lux and Gribble hadn't gone to fucking prison, his status to the chaotic child wouldn't be a question to anyone.
Ugh, gods damn it. Now I feel a little bad for you again. Stop giving me whiplash.
Well, to be honest, Leah, Orixian isn't alone. A lot of us have started picking up on some oddities with Renrev.
Excuse you, why don't you leave me alone and go drive another senior citizen to suicide? Preferably the one standing next to you at your knees.
And you might not be aware of this, Leah, but Orixian has been a big part of Gribble's life. From what I know of their background, personally, I'd consider him an equal to Lux. I believe him, and I believe he's in his right to be protective of his ward.
Orixian was stunned by that comment. He had become so insecure about his place in Gribble and Lux's life that hearing this acknowledged from Thotham of all fucking people almost took his breath away. The Goliath now joining Orixian to grab Renrev so the rogue could release his grasp. Thotham now heroically leading the diplomatic efforts of this hostile scene.
No, 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 no. I'd much prefer the filthy Thanite choke me out with a dagger than me be held captive by fucking Thotham and the dwarven Gary Stew.
From here, a dance between fate threads was embarrassingly going back and forth with Deaa consistently getting cornered over and over again, threading into her sanctuary and successfully charming Thotham and Orixian into believing there was no problem at all. Only for Ulfgar, who Deaa isn't allowed to touch, kindly reminding the gentleman that absolutely nothing had been friggin' solved. The moment they left Deaa's sanctuary, Tyr's influence cleansed them back into common sense.
How pathetic. You do know I have far more mana than you, right? You're embarrassing yourself right now, goddess. Please just give it up.
In good faith, Tyr, I have to assume you haunting my playing field today is less about me fate-threading Thotham, and more so you needed a change of pace from getting your cheeks clapped by Asmodeus. Admit it! My right hand joining the game board is the most amusing thing a god has achieved since we voted to bring the Abyss back from our Etherine's exile.
Only to find out we can't see jack shit down there anyway.
I do admit that I was wrong to be so starkly against Renrev joining the game. I appreciate it greatly now, goddess. Your self-destructive levels of risk tolerance. has essentially handed me your own damn leash. I wasn't sure if the day would ever come, nor did I ever suspect you would be the one answering my prayers. Yet here we are.
Damn! How could I have not calculated for another god taking advantage of my right hand on the game board? I have absolutely nothing prepared for this. Poor Renrev now in harm's way.
Careful, milady. Your sarcasm is almost too obvious.
This arrogant dickhead of a god assumes I went into this legal loophole blindly.
Worry not, trickster, for I have more morals than you. Behold the golden truth. My primary goal this day is to get you, Deaa, to stop negatively threading Thotham. My secondary goal was simply an attack of opportunity. I wanted to test what extent I could play with your right hand now that he's on the game board, and I have my answer now. That being said, I do have other things of, in my opinion, far more importance that I'd rather amuse myself with, rather than sitting here trying to get you to knock it off for fuck's sake.
The script psychically transmuted to Deaa and turned gold. Verifying the statement as was written, at least, is the objective truth. Reminder that golden truths will always be recorded in the golden book at the Game Master's house for players to review at any time.
Does Tyr seriously believe us to be so stupid that we wouldn't notice how he didn't state those were his exclusive goals? Nor the fact he didn't actually promise us anything? This fuckhead is using your own spell to try and trick the trickster goddess. Really?
The Court of Luck went quiet, trying to strategize. Logic and pride having a tug-of-war over the goddess, as Renrev from inside the homunculus eventually snapped his fingers in realization. Him now recalling his original plan, he told Gribble the go limp and gaslight them strategy. Thus, within Thotham's hands, Renrev now seemed to dramatically shut down.
Oh my god! That is deeply unfortunate.
Oh my gods, poor Gribble will be heartbroken. This was entirely unnecessary and way over the top.
I don't know what happened to Renrev. I think he died.
I sure hope so. But, Thotham, can you please not mention this to Lux just yet? Or anyone for that matter. I want to wait to talk to her first, and I promise to do so, but after the wedding mission is done.
Alright. Let me know when you're done doing that Orixian, and then I will help mediate everyone. As my friend Gar here advised, it's best we all try to work together.
Precisely. Talks like these can be very difficult, but are often well worth it in the end.
As everyone was anxiously discussing, Thotham held Renrev more gently and sympathetically, open-palmed, looking down at the pitiful, lifeless mechanical creature, knowing what it means to Gribble.
I really need to keep in mind that we're traveling with a bunch of fucking incomprehensible idiots.
Oh my gods. Why didn't you go limp sooner? All those fate threads earlier weren't nearly as helpful as this.
Sorry, milady, I got too excited from all the sword thrusting and forgot it was an option.
Well, hurry it up already! Go!
Like a fucking Looney Tune, Renrev booked it out of Thotham's hands and dashed for Gribble.
What? That seriously worked?
Get fucked, you slithering buckethead of a god.
Thus, the three mortal men were left as dumbfounded as they were annoyed.
Well, that was interesting. Is that not how homunculi work?
No, not without their master's spoken orders. I didn't see any goblin children in there telling it to play dead and spring back to life, did you?
No, I did not.
See, that thing is a master manipulator.
You're right, Orixian. We really gotta intervene on this once and for all. Thank you for making it clear we should have more urgency with this.
Thank you for believing me and having my back earlier. I do appreciate all this, Thotham. I'll make it up to you.
As Renrev made it back to Gribble, who was still praying with frustrated tears in his eyes to Deaa's statue, the boy now stopped and lit up in relief, immediately squeezing the homunculus tearfully. But when doing so, a couple of Renrev's bolts clanged on the floor like loose change.
What the heck happened to you, Renrev?
Oh, just a few loose parts. Maybe most importantly, my inner neck panels scraping against each other. Is it something you can fix real quick, you think? It's not urgent, but I am not as dexterous as I'd like to be right now.
Gribble opened up Renrev's mouth to see inside, the boy now spotting hundreds of lacerations against the metal.
Renrev! Who did this to you?
It was Tyr. Remember how I told you he threaded me this morning? This is the culmination of that. But I'm fine. Please don't let him get to you, young master.
Is that your way of saying it was Thotham?
No, that's not what I said. Definitely don't go after Thotham right now or anywhere near him, please.
Stop hiding things from me, Renrev! Tell me who friggin' did this to you!
Young master, Tyr did do this to me, but he did it through Orixian. It's not the rogue's fault. He was just trying to protect you, which is what we need to discuss right now. Young master.
There was no further discussion to be had, for the object of Gribble's rage had just entered the nave, and Gribble's eyes went red with hot fury. Gribble now running toward them, leaving Renrev behind, as the boy summoned a firebolt in his hand.
Orixian! You stupid asshole!
Gribble launched the bolt right for Orixian's fucking face. But the rogue was already on guard as he caught the flaming bolt in his gloved hand and quickly stomped it out on the ground, as he gave a stern ass look of disapproval down at the boy.
Gribble, you should not be fucking around with fire like that.
I'm not messing around! I'm serious!
Holy Deaa! Why did Gribble just run off and attack Orixian?
Because the boy loves you. And it seems he is willing to burn down my chapel to make that point clear.
This is why children should never be augmented, Deaa. Renrev somehow managed to slip away from my pawns. Yet now your own damn champion is dragging you right back in, and even deeper into the danger zone. Best not forget what happens if your brat touches Ulfgar.
I know, Tyr. Genius setup you got going here. But what I don't seem to understand is that if you oh so dearly don't want my threads around your Goliath pawn, then why the hell did you drop him on my champion's lawn?
Are you finally willing to talk this out already?
Sure, why not? Let's hear your pretentious spin.
The game board representing the chapel was placed into time out by the consent of both dueling gods, only Renrev remaining animated.
Firstly, Deaa, quit twisting my actions. I fate-threaded Thotham to the Eladrin, not your goblin brat. The boy getting noosed was the cat's doing, not mine.
Oh, shut up and stop being pedantic, Tyr. You obviously hoped my champion would get noosed, because you wanted your stupid Goliath pawn to stay within arm's reach of him. And secondly, Tyr, my dear Gribble is a damn dragon, and you know it!
Behold the golden truth. I did not thread Thotham to the Eladrin for the purposes of spying on your champion, Deaa, but for the purposes of keeping an eye on Renrev, who I at the time correctly assumed would make an appearance at some point to the child, because outside of avatars, how the hell else is a mere child supposed to survive the game? I am otherwise not amused by your champion in the slightest, aside from how he leaves you direly vulnerable, as was just now demonstrated. But if it's any consolation, trickster, I would have tied a thread sooner meant to draw out Renrev. But wherever you hid him before he climbed into the homunculus, or even knowledge of how long he's been infesting the game board, I still don't have a damn clue.
The script turned gold. Tyr objectively recounted his goals and feelings as was transcribed.
I was right under your nose for 2 decades on the game board, you stupid prick.
Well, Tyr, at least you're paying me to hear your drivel every time you use my truth spell. But nonetheless, stating your target is Renrev rather than Gribble does not change the fact you started this. Stalking my queen game piece is no better than stalking my bishop. Stop weaseling and just own it already.
I strongly disagree. You know where Sylvania and I's right hands are and always have been. Yazoo and Finellis are here with us in the Therin realm. Your sassy little court jester, in my opinion, shouldn't be entitled to any special privilege.
That's a bull argument. Yazoo and Fennelis can also join the game board, thanks to me. If only you and Sylvania would let them.
Your point is moot, Deaa. Yazoo agrees with me and has no interest in joining the game board. It's simple if you don't want your cackling troll being played with by other gods. Then he can return to your right-hand side and get off the game board as our laws intend and traditions dictate. It's almost like these things exist for a good reason.
Ha ha ha! Oh, if only Tyr knew what we know.
Sounds to me like I have far more trust and confidence in my supposed cackling, trollish court jester than you do your four-legged, brown-nosing bitch. I bet if you did express the remotest interest to have Yazoo on the board, Tyr, that she'd suddenly become eager. But you're too controlling for that, now aren't you? It's your choice, of course. I simply used mine differently. Therefore, I don't see how this is a special privilege.
Because I'm not going to pay you, let alone have Yazoo debate herself for your whims, trickster. My demonstration today is plenty convincing that your loophole is a doomed idea. But I'm done debating. Bottom line, Deaa, I haven't directly threaded any of your augmented game pieces, period. Likewise, you've been quite cavalier threading Thotham, and while you are within your right to keep doing so since I haven't augmented him yet, I'm just here to tell you that if you continue that path, then I will continue mine. Now either we can cooperate with each other, or you can lose. The ball's in the court of luck, so what will it be?
Fuck this guy, but we already knew there's no getting out of this cleanly, milady. No amount of luck will give us the upper hand when the chapel is littered with his pawns and Ulfgar.
And their party is infighting, while Gribble is not even listening to you. I had hoped to at least make a bigger dent than I did. But oh well. Calming the child down and getting him away from Ulfgar is the priority.
Tyr may have won this silly battle, but we will win the war.
Please keep that in mind as he ignorantly gloats on you.
Fine, Tyr. I'll negotiate and come to your court in one mortal day. And I won't touch your precious twinkle-toed little Thotham between now and our meeting. But first, you need to inspire Ulfgar to back the fuck up.
Good girl. Easy enough, since my pieces actually respect me.
I wonder just how long that will last.
With Deaa conceding the mini-game, time now reactivated in the chapel. Ulfgar was contemplating intervening, inching forward worried about potential violence breaking out. But a warm guidance came over him that left him feeling reassured that the chapel would not burn, and that the best thing for everyone was for the two troubled souls to let it all out for a bit before trying to help. And it was at this point Tawiddi and Lux flew out of the bridal tower. Mimith and Osman ran out the Grooms tower, and Tarth came back from the bathroom after his walk with Salzarbad. Everyone's frozen eyes wide and confused about what the hell was going on.
Our game is done, but I will still be spectating until most of my pawns go home. Sincerely good luck to Renrev figuring out how to get out of the knot I tied him in.
I don't need your look. I'll escape your petty knot with elegance, finesse, and a shit-eating grin.
Renrev, I imagine you're going to need some of your mana back.
Who would have thought mortal weddings could be so expensive, mana-wise? Jeez. I had promised the children a happy day, and I entirely blew it.
I'll give you back whatever you need, but not until after most of Tyr's pawns leave. We will need to be stingy for a while after this. I'll be disabling the boys' stone until next month.
Don't worry, milady Deaa, I will fix this. but thank you for coming for me today.
I know you will. And of course, my friend, despite all this mess, luck is on your and Gribble's side. I've conceded to Tyr, so I need to pull out. Remember, you two are alone with him now. Farewell, Renrev.
Godspeed, milady.
With Deaa departing and Tyr only spectating rather than influencing now, Gribble and Orixian were eyes locked and surrounded by everyone else, as Lux gently approached, concerned for them both.
Guys, I don't know what happened, but is it possible to tone down the heat just a bit?
No! He freaking shoved a blade down Renrev's throat, an eye for an eye!
Oh, come now, Gribble. You know I only have one eye.
If you want to keep it, then you'll never ever touch Renrev again! I freaking warned you!
And I warned you that if you weren't going to cooperate, that I'd take things into my own damn hands.
But Orixian, I told you that Renrev has been helpful to us.
But to what end, Lux?
It's none of your friggin' business, Orixian! You're barely even around anymore!
That doesn't mean I care any less than I did before Gribble.
You are going friggin' crazy over absolutely nothing!
I would never consider you and Tawiddi to be nothing.
I meant the freaking homunculus, you stupid head!
Poor Tawiddi's face was jumping back and forth between them anxiously, wanting to find the words to say, but deeply caught between being in the same boat as Gribble as Momo could be felt shaking nervously within her hair, while also feeling moved by Orixian's protectiveness and guilt for lying. But not everyone felt as conflicted, as Mimith stomped her foot down angrily. She was humiliated that this was putting a damper on what's supposed to be their party's last day with their mission clients before they flee the country.
You two need to cut it out, right now!
But it was as if Mimith didn't exist as they continued their back and forth. Osman put a hand on Mimith's shoulder to try and coax her back, while shaking his head.
Trust me, I think they need to get it out of their system or else it'll just eat them alive. Yelling at people who are already fuming is just gonna get you consumed in their fire.
Orixian, I am not backing down until you swear to never touch Renrev again!
Well, I guess we're gonna be here a long time, Gribble, because I'm not gonna stop until I get some damn answers.
No! If you ever touch Renrev again, I will burn you to a pile of ashes!
Young master, please, Orixian is not your enemy. I'm immortal. You're throwing away your relationship for nothing. It really wasn't even a bad time for me.
Well, it was a bad time for me! And if anyone messes with you, then they are messing with me!
The only person who messed with me was Tyr, and you're playing right into his hands and giving him exactly what he wants.
The blazes in Gribble's fists doubled in size as Lux gasped and immediately moved closer to Orixian, trying to offer some silent comfort as he flinched at receiving Gribble's words. Not out of fear of the boy, but out of trauma recall. A teen Orixian trying to avenge his mother's murder went to set his father's wealthy vineyard ablaze. The fire spreading a greater distance than intended, and then an accidental explosion that turned the underground labor encampments of trafficked migrants into a scorching tomb of screams, the very event that made him the criminal phantom rogue he is today.
I'm so sorry.
You're a spoiled, rotten, filthy murderer!
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
You should burn in the pits of Infernus, nearly 100 people dead because of you!
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this. I'm no better than my fucking father. I'm so sorry, Mum.
And being the son of a hated bourgeois made setting roots in criminal society yet another uphill battle. There are few he can consider family, and one such individual is now seeming eager to abandon him.
Gribble, do you friggin' hear yourself? One moment you're insisting to me that Renrev is just a stupid, meaningless homunculus, and the next moment you're fucking threatening to kill me over a supposedly nothing. How am I supposed to take that, Gribble? Am I less than a piece of fucking junk to you?
You're certainly getting there! Just shut up and promise right now that you won't touch Renrev again! Because I do mean it! I will seriously kill you, Orixian!
If my protecting you kids somehow means you killing me, then so fucking be it. I long already accepted I was willing to die for you, and I refuse to just watch you fuck up your life like I did.
Young master, you can't seriously mean the things you're saying.
Of course I don't!
Then what's in the hells are you doing right now?
I don't know anymore! Renrev, help me get out of here!
If I may offer, if you insist on your story, young one, I imagine this must be very stressful to not be believed. I could help you by casting a zone of truth. That could help put everyone at ease.
Wow, Gar, that's a great idea.
That's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. Young master, there's an illusionary door over that way. In there we can go to Dea's sanctuary, calm you down, and figure this all out.
Just as Ulfgar was gently extending his hand in kindness to offer casting the spell, Gribble dropped his fire and suddenly fled for the Holy Hall. Orixian was tempted to chase until Lux reached for his arm.
This isn't done, but for now, let's give him space.
You're not alone, Orixian. We're all on board now. This does need to be taken care of.
Orixian turned to look at Tawiddi, their concerned eyes matching for a moment. She seemingly wanting to say something, but choked up and ran back up the bridal tower.
Guess I'm a fucking monster now.
It's not you, man. It's the chapel. Weird shit's going on here today. Maybe we're all getting fucked with.
The adults continued to fill awkward stretches of silence, Thotham introducing his mentor as Gar to his friends, the cleric and Harengon promising to talk more later in private between the three of them. But we returned to Gribble, who anxiously shook in distress within Dea's sanctuary.
My apologies, young master. I certainly carry some or most of the blame here. But I will fix this tonight, and all will be better.
But how? They're not going to give it up now.
They won't give up unless we give them something satisfactory enough, which I will do.
But you said they'd be in danger if they found out the truth?
I'm not going to tell them everything. Under no circumstances should any of them find out that you kiddos and I are godly agents. That would endanger all of us. Any of them could be kidnapped, kept as hostages, or have their minds read. And then it's game over for you and them. So all we need is a cover story, and a little magic.
But I already told them that you're a gift from Deaa.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Aren't we all supposedly gifts from the gods? Don't worry about that, young master. I got this handled. But I need you to get yourself in control.
I need to talk to Deaa. Please let me talk to Deaa.
You can try, but she already answered your earlier prayer and dropped a solid dose of mana today. Remember that we can't overly depend on her, young master. You need to get stronger on your own.
I promise I'll be quick. I just need to hear from her myself. Please.
Gribble didn't just bow, but pressed his head painfully to the ground while internally begging for Deaa. With a DC 20 met, Our Lady of Luck answered.
Such a distressed little dragon. No offense, dear Gribble, but I hope you do know some of this was self-inflicted.
Deaa, you're here. I'm sorry, but Orixian hurt Renrev.
No, Tyr hurt Renrev by tying a thread of harm to the homunculus. Orixian only half-wittingly became his puppet. Think of the threads we gods pull, a bit like drugs. You mortals wouldn't suddenly do something you'd never do. But things that you're less likely to do become more likely. Emotions you feel in the background might suddenly be dragged front, center, and elevated. Smaller facets of one's personality suddenly become the primary. Thoughts you would keep quiet and dismiss now suddenly have urgency to be made known. The possibilities are almost endless. 'Tis the game we immortals play, for better or for worse.
So you're not mad at Orixian for attacking Renrev?
How could I be mad that someone loves my champion so much they'd be willing to throw everything away to protect you? It's not like he's asking you to stop worshipping me. He simply doesn't know better. Gribble, to be blunt, my dear, you will not survive to see dragonhood without loyal allies like Orixian. Do you not care for him anymore?
I do care for him, but you were here first. I just got really angry and scared. I felt like I had to do something, so I exploded. You and Renrev are the only ones who have believed in me.
I understand. Thank you, Gribble. But you need to remember that Renrev is immortal. Orixian could dismember him limb by limb, and in time, Renrev will regenerate. There are very few ways for our kind to die. Trust me, we've been through far worse, beyond what your young imagination could conjure. The rogue might as well have been tickling Renrev with feathers today.
Well, the homunculus can't do that. I gotta fix it, and it's still the principle of the issue.
Sounds like you're just gonna have to try and build the homunculus stronger every time it breaks. Good. You also need to get stronger in both body and mind, Gribble. We immortals don't view things the same as your kind. I know you were disturbed, and neither of us want to see you in such a state. But aside from Tyr royally pissing me off, the drama was otherwise rather amusing to me, as well as Renrev. But things will get worse. You need to prepare yourself for that. Build up a tolerance level that won't result in everyone around you getting burned, leaving you alone and wide open.
I'm sorry! Am I supposed to listen to whatever Renrev says? Or should I check with you first sometimes?
Gribble, there is no being in existence who knows, cares, and understands me and my objectives more than Renrev does. If I couldn't trust him, then I would have no one. While you have your own agency, Gribble, you may consider Renrev indefinitely as my directly appointed delegate in GIKARIN. But on that note, today you risked burning down my chapel and mana supply. I do advise you to work on getting a tamper on that impulsivity, at least to the extent you are still capable of listening to Renrev in those moments. You played right into Tyr's hand today by disobeying Renrev and succumbing to that prick of a god's taunts. Gribble, if that was a non-allied god, you could have died. Do you understand?
Oops! I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll make up for it. I promise and I swear.
Yes, you will. But again, thank you. Your fierce care and dedication to Renrev, I find it sweet. But with that, I will let you go for now, little dragon. You will not be hearing from me for a while, for I will be busy, and you need to become more independent. You do you, Gribble, but I advise if you want to see your dream come true, then you should obey Renrev. Those are my holy orders for you for now. Understood?
Understood, Deaa. Yes, ma'am. Will do.
Good. Luck is on your side, child. But don't burn through it. Farewell, my little dragon.
As Deaa's presence faded away, Gribble was still anxious as mechanical Renrev joined his shoulder and patted his head reassuringly.
Worry not, young master. Anticipation is often worse than the event itself, and the odds are always in your favor. As for you, you're going to strut out into that nave and you're going to repeat word for word everything I say in your head.
I'm really worried, Renrev.
Ha, don't be. You should be excited. After today, there will be far less problems, and we can be less dodgy now, so take a deep breath, young master. We'll get out of this knot together and on top.
And thus, taking a deep breath, Gribble tensely marched back out to the nave, where everyone stared at him quietly as he repeated Renrev's words.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good job! You caught us! All will be revealed tonight. Renrev himself will explain everything. But only after everyone else has left, so that we can hash this out with no interruptions. So, for the sake of the gig though, can we all agree to call a truce from now until then and drop it? Please?
Lux turned to Orixian with an impressed gaze. He did it, going full sail and pushing Gribble to snap secured actual results. But Orixian did not look impressed with the development. With everyone else agreeing to wait, he bitterly bit his tongue on the matter. Him now leaving to take a lone walk to unfuck his brain. Likewise, Ulfgar returned to Tyr's sanctuary. Everyone else was getting last minute ready for the party. And that's where we left off. The garden wedding party awaits our chaotic crew before our heroes are in for an evening of grand reveals. The GM didn't see this shit happening, but whelp! Here we are. See ya soon, folks.